Dylan, can you bring that? What's going on, everybody? Thank y'all for tuning in. This is the weekend wrap up with PK and Homer Chris, and this is the Crawford Chronicles. Waiting on Riles, but Riles is going to join us here in a little bit. But anyways, Chris, how was your weekend, man?
Man, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty jam packed. Just trying to play catch up from everything since we've been out of town for a while, and I can only imagine how tomorrow's going to be at work. So I haven't checked. I've been pretty good. I haven't looked at anything, so I figure that's a Monday problem. But unfortunately, Monday is creeping up pretty darn quickly. So PK, how's your weekend going?
Yeah. Monday is right around the corner for you, man. But no, it was pretty uneventful the weekend. Beautiful weather this weekend, so that was awesome. I'm sure y'all enjoyed it out in the baseball fields over the weekend. Little beach tournament today for my daughter, but other than that, man, it's just been watching some baseball, World Baseball Classic. We'll get into a very little bit of that tonight, but let's get into this thing, man. Let's start with today because we had a pretty big, I don't even know, announcement, reason to watch the game, right? One of the reasons to watch the game was Kevin Alvarez getting his spring debut today. Not anything that jumped off the page. He went 0 for 3 with the K, right? But I mean, the kid's 18. I did see his first at bat, and it was a jam shot right back up the middle. So I mean, look, he's 18. I don't know what you guys are doing at 18, but I sure as hell was not at spring training, hitting baseballs. So it's just cool to see him, man. It's the number one prospect in our organization. So just want to see some more. We'll see how this season goes for him.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty exciting to see. I only wish that they would have, showed the game on TV. But hey, I mean, like it's not the majors, but I mean, it's pretty darn close. Like we talked about on Thursday. I mean, we're getting close to where those rosters are starting to get cut down a little bit. So he's going to see more of major league stuff. I mean, but hey, kid, welcome to the intro to your show. Unfortunately, he went over 3 with a strikeout. But again, he's 18. I mean, like, yeah, it would have been great for him to come out there and go 3 for 3. But I mean, you won today's game with 1 hit.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could look at it 2 different ways. I mean, like you could look at it as, oh, the offense sucks, or you could think of it as, you could look at it as how good the pitching was. Now, we spent Thursday going back and forth about Emai, or is Burrows going to be the number 2? Christian Javier says, "Hey schmucks, shut your mouth. I'm still here." So y'all need to recognize he goes 4 innings, 2 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. He looked amazing today. His velocity, from what I read, looked good. So I mean, he definitely made a statement saying, "Hey, I'm still here, guys. I'm still trying to get back to my 2022 Javier." And a blue ball again. He went 2 innings. I think he struck out, according to my notes, 3 strikeouts in 2 innings. So you had 6 innings of shutout, 3 hit, and 8 strikeouts from blue ball and Javier. And I mean, like we talked about pitching depth. I know we really kind of shortly talked about AJ Blueball, but man, he makes it hard for you to forget him too.
Yeah, so Brayu had a good bounce back game. Right, I mean, he only pitched an inning today. He had 1 walk. So Sleeper posted something, and I commented on. I think I tagged you in it, and he put out his top 7, right? His top 7 in the pitching rotation, right? So Hunter Brown, Hunter Brown, Burrows, Emai, Javier at 4, Weiss at 5, LMJ at 6, Arrighetti at 7, right? So
where did he have Burrows?
2.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, all right, so, carry on.
Yeah, so my thing was, and I only commented on 6 and 7, right? The Arrighetti LMJ, which I was like, look, I think you would swap, the 6 and the 7 spot, right? Especially since we're going to be coming into the season with a 6-man rotation. I probably feel a little bit more comfortable having Arrighetti there. The Ryan Weiss thing was, and I didn't really comment on it, but the Ryan Weiss, I mean, I feel like, he's had some good outings. You haven't heard much about him, so to have him at, what I say, he was at 7, at 5, think it was at 5. I think it was at 5. But no, it goes to your point. Back to Javier was, we talked about it on Thursday. I think I'm sure we talked about it on an episode before where, Javier wasn't pitching as the Javier that we expected him to be, right? And then he comes out and reminds you, as we're 2 weeks away, right? Almost just about 2 weeks away from first pitch. March 28th is the opening day. So on that 7-man rotation that I just laid out to you, aside from the top 3, we know the top 4, right? I think Javier is pretty safe at 4. Where are you on 5, 6, and 7?
Well, I mean, me personally, like I from what I've seen from Lance McCullers, I would personally slide him at the number 7 spot. However, I feel like that's not what Espada is going to do. I feel like Espada is going to go with I think he's going to go with. Uh, I think Weiss is going to be the odd man out because I think he's going to go with Spencer Arrighetti, which he
Mm-hmm.
knows. Arrighetti has his ups and downs. I mean, we'd like to see him kind of like smooth out the roller coaster a little bit. And I think McCullers is, because of his veteran, him being a veteran, his leadership on the team, I do think he'll end up being number 6. And then you'll have a 3-headed monster coming out of the pen as far as long relief between Blue Ball, Weiss, and probably Tang as well. Um, yeah, but I agree. I do think Ryan Weiss kind of gets lost in the shuffle because everybody's talking about Imai, everybody's talking about Burrows, but I mean he's been very quietly having a really good spring. I mean, so
Mm-hmm.
like another thing you got to think about Javier is that he's still working back from Tommy John as well, even though he did pitch a little bit last season, but this is his first spring training coming off of Tommy John. So like I said, if it was me, I think I would probably swap Weiss and Arrighetti, and then I would leave LMJ at 7.
Yeah, yeah, because we coming into spring, we talked about Blue Ball getting an opportunity, right, to fill in that last, number 5 or number 6 spot, just based on how we finished last season, right? We talked about to blue in the blue in the face, no pun intended, right? But like, I don't feel
There you go. There
we
you
got
go.
him, got him. I just don't feel like he's getting enough
Yeah.
run, right, in a starting spot to kind of, you know, justify him getting that number 6 spot. So, and talking about Ryan Weiss, I mean, yesterday he went four and a third with 2 hits, 1 walk, and a K yesterday, right? I mean, the dude had a good, he had a good outing. Um, Rodri Munoz was in for 2/3 of an inning. Lambert threw 3 innings, and then Van Way closed it out. I saw Kevin Biggio in there yesterday.
Yeah. Did he actually get some playing time?
Yeah, yeah, he did. He 1 for 2 with 2 walks.
Hey, I'll take it. Hey, here's the thing with Biggio, and a lot of people, and again, this is not just me being Homer Chris, but Biggio's always had a pretty decent eye. It's just like he's going to be someone he's one of those guys that you kind of need as far as like he don't have a problem working a walk. The problem is that when he does make contact, it hasn't really worked out for him. So again, I'm hoping that this new change of scenery, maybe like I mean, this is a kid who really has nothing to lose at this point. I mean,
Yeah,
like if and same thing with the Astros. This is with Kevin Biggio, it's a very low risk, extremely high reward. Like if he gives you 250, 260 off the bench, if this is again, if he makes the team out of spring, which I don't think he will since he had such a late start. I mean, that's a home run for the Astros. If he can be a guy that, like I said, if he hits 250, 260 off the bench, he could play first base, second base, third base, both corner outfield. I mean, you could have a cheaper, and again, I'm not saying he's going to be as good defensively as Mauricio Dubon was, but again, I mean, you could have, and he's left-handed, you could have your Mauricio Dubon replacement right there for a quarter of the price. Actually, probably an eighth of the price if my Sanjak math serves me correctly.
yeah. No, I mean, I hope he makes it. Makes it out of spring. I mean, I haven't. You came in the season with Nick Allen kind of being the replacement to Dubon, right? Like the pseudo replacement. But having a left-handed bat, another one off the bench, like we are, lacking for left-handed batters, right? So I like you're right. His approach to the plate is pretty disciplined. And again, like you said, but it's the contact that he makes when he makes the contact. It hasn't, worked out so far with him. But if you can look like Moneyball, and like Bryles always says, like if he can get on base, right? I mean, that instantly puts pressure on the defense. Doesn't matter, his speed or not. Like it puts pressure on the defense to, not have a potential crooked number for that inning. So this is good to see. I mean, Taylor Trammell had another good game on Saturday. Loperfido, he subbed for him. Paredes was over 3. Jordan had a big game on Saturday. Big game.
Yeah, he had a homer yesterday as well.
Yeah, 4 RBIs on. And I was reading some stuff on X, and a few people freaking out about Jordan and like his lack of power, I guess, in the spring, and his batting average wasn't this, and it's like, but are you really concerned? Are you really concerned about Jordan freaking Alvarez? You're concerned about spring training and his batting average? Like, we know what this dude can do and will do as long as he stays healthy.
No, I agree. I think if you're if you're not trying to look for reasons to have a stroke during spring training, the only thing I want Jordan Alvarez to do is to arrive to spring training healthy and leave spring training healthy. I don't care what his batting average is. I don't care how many times he strikes out. All I want him to do is be healthy for opening day. Anything after besides that is a bonus. Like I said, if he hits 75 home runs between now and the last spring training game, I don't care. I just want the man to be healthy because you need him in your lineup. End of story.
Period. End of story. And then, look, before we get into our next piece of tonight's episode, we have a special guest joining us. I'm going to bring him in right now. Everybody, please welcome Sweet B Bones Brown.
Hey, that's right.
Hey,
Sleep
thanks,
in
guys.
beauty.
Appreciate that. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but no. To bring up what Chris was saying, yeah, he's completely correct. Yeah, go ahead and let Jordan go ahead and hit, and that's it. So anyway, thank you guys for bringing me in. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, it's good, man.
Hey, I'm just glad we were able to contact your agent and you were able to squeeze in some time for us. So hey, it's not very often that we have someone of your statue on our show. So I just wanted to thank you for making the time to join us.
The ink's dried on the contract, and now he's under contract, so he has to show up. He's got to show up now.
Yeah, there you go. I like it.
Browse, what's been going on, man? Browse.
It's been a long weekend, man. I will tell you the WBC's been a big part of the weekend, but that's been about all of it, man. So we've seen a whole lot of stuff in spring training, but unfortunately the Astros have not been part of the World Baseball Classic for the most part that we've seen. So anyway, that's been about it.
Good deal, man. No, so we were just kind of catching up on. We started with today's game. We started with Kevin Alvarez, right, and his spring debut, and Ryan Weiss and his outing that he had on Saturday. So I'm gonna ask you the same question that I asked Moreno. Sleeper put out a post earlier today, and it was his top 7 starting pitchers, rotation wise. So I'm gonna read them all to you. You tell me what you think. Right. So of course, top 3 is Hunter Brown, Burrows, and Imai. 4 is Javier. 5 was Weiss. 6 LMJ. 7 was Arrighetti. So before you answer yours, my thought on it was I would swap 6 and 7, right? Swap Arrighetti to LMJ. I think Chris is in that same boat, but Chris made a good point where Espada's probably going to roll with LMJ as that number 6, I would assume, or that's what Chris would think, right? So what do you think on those 7 guys?
I mean, we're going to see where these guys actually land, as far as, the rotation is concerned. But I do like Burrows at number 2. I do like Imai at number 3. But I mean, honestly, you could swap those 2 guys anytime that you're actually looking at it as far as the spring numbers are concerned. But Man, as far as LMJ is concerned, he's looked better than he has looked in the last, I don't know what, 5 years now. So I mean, we're talking to all spring numbers, but keep that in mind. And I would put him honestly at a number like 5 or 6 spot at this point. I mean, Arrighetti has not looked good. Javier has not looked good. We've got guys out there that have actually gone into spring. They've done their work. They've done what they have to do. But at the same time, I mean, LMJ, I think, put in so much work in the offseason that he deserves a spot at least in the bottom of the rotation at the very least. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. And then, like I said, Burrows and Amai, yeah, they could interchange at 2 and 3. Those are kind of my that's my spot at it right now.
That's fair. I mean, look, those top 3 guys I have like a 1.38 or 1.43 ERA this spring. The top 3.
I mean, we got a 2A and a 2B. I mean, you can't complain, right?
Yeah. No, I think. I mean, Javier. We talked about Javier had a good bounce back. I don't want to say bounce back, just a really good outing today. Right, 4 2/3. Chris thinks what it was, like 5 Ks.
Yeah.
And so, and this is coming off the heels of what we were talking about on Thursday, right? About Javier maybe being a little bit lower in the rotation. And he's like, cool, hold my beer. So, but no, look,
he just needs some more work. That's it.
Yeah, I think so. I agree. But you got 2 weeks left, man. So I don't know how many more starts he's going to get. What, 1, 2 maybe?
Yeah, probably one.
So, I mean, look, he's going to be in the rotation, period, end of story. Whether he's a number 4 guy or I really don't see Javier going any lower than 4, at all.
Well, I'll put it this way. If Javier's your number 4, your rotation is pretty damn good. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. I agree.
I'm not going to argue that.
You need the offense, I mean, just need your offense.
Yeah. And I think that'll come around. I mean, like, again, I mean, Kevin Alvarez is not going to be in your lineup opening day, right? I mean, so you're still kind of working in other guys. You're still trying to get your last bit of looks. Because, again, it's not just, hey, let's get our starting 26 a chance to, give them a look. You're also looking at guys that may be starting off in AA, guys that may be starting off in AAA, guys that you want to take a look at and be like, hey, is this a guy that could help us if we made call upon him? Or if we saw last year with all the injuries, so they're going to be looking at guys that, probably, don't stand a chance to make this roster, may start off in AA or AAA. And they want to take a look at these guys to, hey, is this a guy that, how does he look? Is he getting close? Is this a guy that, hey, if something was to happen, can we call upon him to come up and contribute? I mean, so I think a lot of people are kind of blown out of the water, the whole batting average thing. And I mean, it's hard to kind of talk, say that after they come off a 1-hit performance, but hey, they got to win. So it's not about how many hits you get. It's about how many runs you put across the board.
Yeah. Look, I was thinking of this as you were talking about that. This is essentially a showcase, like you were saying, Chris, for these younger guys. And that was a perfect setup. Like these guys that were in single, rookie ball or A ball, do they start there or AA to AAA, whatever it is, right? This is their opportunity to, put something like really on film against some probably a higher level pitching than what they're accustomed to. And so, and I agree, like, are they going to, where are they going to start this season? And so we talked about it before. We know Dana Brown will skyrocket these guys through the system if they're on, if they're destroying the ball. We saw it with Zach Cole. We saw it, Loperfido, all the things, right? So you're just getting to see up close and personal, essentially, when they're on TV, the future of this organization. You know what I mean? And so, but it was really cool to, see some highlights today from Kevin Alvarez. I mean, I was pumped about it. What was it last year? I think last year we signed him. I think it was last year, right?
Yeah, it might have been last year. Could have been the year before.
Year before.
It was the year before. Yeah.
Because it's just a lefty power bat, So between him and Xavier Nayans, right? Like if those guys just continue to project the way that they are being projected, right? Like the future of Astros is pretty bright. So looks like Bryce Matthews got some more run out in the outfield
Yeah,
this weekend.
I mean, I do think that they're probably. I mean, they came out before spring and said he was going to get some reps, and I was kind of like, all right, man, cool. You know, he's an athlete. You know, he played a little bit of third base, and I think it was 24. Yeah, 24. You know, but again, I think it's just more of building depth. Like you have somebody like Bryce Matthews, who, and again, I'm not saying that I mean, of course, he has the potential to be a stud, but he's Dana Brown's first draft pick. You know, since he took over as GM. So where is his path of least resistance? It's not, unfortunately, it's not in the infield. So his path of least resistance is going to be the outfield, right? We've seen over the last few years guys slowly make that transition. You know, DeZenzo, normally a corner infielder, or second baseman. Now he's playing the outfield. Now you've got Bryce Matthews because, again, you don't know what Zach Cole is going to pan out to be. You don't know what Loperfido is going to do. I mean, you're all hoping the best from these guys. Taylor Trammell, another one. He's had a great spring. I mean, but let's see how that correlates to when the season starts. So again, your path of least resistance is the outfield, and clearly this is a guy that Dana Brown really likes, and he's not going anywhere as far as trades or anything like that. So got to find a way to fit him if you can possibly do it.
Well, I mean, I see him potentially starting out in AAA and being in Sugarland. He needs some like AAA at bats more than anything else. And we do have a whole lot of guys that have the potential to be starters and actually be in our lineup and all that kind of stuff for the outfield. And I do like the way Trammell is like performed as far as spring training is concerned. But you got to think about like Loperfido. You got to think about like, is Jordan Alvarez going to play a little bit of left field? I mean, what is actually going to happen? The only guy that is set right now is Myers in center field. And then we got Cam Smith in right field, which he should start there, to be honest with you. He's looked really good in spring. And not only on top of that, but I mean, he did actually get Gold Glove like votes last season. So, yeah, as far as Bryce Matthews is concerned, he's probably going to start in Sugarland. I think that he is the second baseman of the future, but as of right now, he probably is just going to be in Sugarland. That's the way it's going to be until we get like an injury or something like that going on. So that's the way I feel about it.
Or he could get on a freaking hot streak. Like that
he could. Yeah, you're right.
That outfield's pretty wide open. Like it's pretty wide open. I think you got Myers locked down in center. Cam's probably going to start in right, like you said. You'll have some kind of probably platoon in left between Jordan and I'm guessing Altuve. Whenever I mean something because you still have Paredes in the mix.
Hopefully not Altuve.
You still have a crowded infield, dude. You still have an extremely crowded infield. I mean, so it's going to be interesting to see. I think hopefully Bryce Matthews being called up is solely due to him kicking ass down in AAA and not because we're in a bind, and we've got to start bringing up guys from AAA because of injuries. But I mean, you still have the whole Paredes debacle and the not a place to play this guy consistently. So we talk about the outfield a lot because we don't have, our outfield, like who someone said on the radio, we have a Jake Marisnick full of outfielders, right? And so but you've got these elite guys on the infield that, you don't have spots to put them in.
Well, you bring up a good point, though. It's like, go ahead and have Matthews like push us and say like, hey, look, I'm playing this well. Like, make me on this roster. You have to like have that guy do that kind of thing. Like it's like, he's down there in Sugarland, I'm assuming is where he's going to end up, after spring training and say like, hey, I'm hitting so well. I'm playing so well defensively that I am pushing you to put me on this actual Astro squad. So that's what I hope happens more than anything else. And Chris, I cut you off. Sorry about that.
No, you're good, man. No, I mean, so talking about Bryce Matthews, I mean, this is a guy that last year in AAA, he was hitting in the high 280s. I mean, so Like he's proven he can hit AAA, pitching. And again, I think what the biggest thing that, we kind of like, I don't want to say we overlook is having to make that adjustment from AAA to the majors, right? I mean, because again, we're penciling in Zach Cole. Zach Cole had like 40 something at bats last season. Now, granted, they were a really good 40 something at bats, but that still doesn't, like again, I wouldn't. I agree. I think the only guy that's penciled in is Jake Myers, and I wouldn't call the rest of the outfield a bunch of Jake Marisniks. Um, I think that's a little harsh. Like, granted, again, I'm not saying these guys are, you know, the next, greatest outfield known to man. I mean, but I think as of right now, there Bryce Matthews has just as much a chance as winning an outfield spot as I would say Cam Smith right now. Because outside of Jake Marisnick just being the veteran, you look at the stats. I mean, they have good games, whatever. I mean, it's spring training, but there has been no one in that outfield as far as the other. I mean, outside of Taylor Trammell. All right, but I don't want to be that guy, but let's really think of who Taylor Trammell is. I mean, like I think he hit like 206 last season. Now he did come up with some big at bats, so I'm not saying
He's a
that like
Dodger
this guy's.
killer. Don't forget.
I mean, but like Zach Cole hasn't done anything to blow me away this spring. Lou Perfito really kind of hasn't done anything to blow me away this spring. Cam Smith too. I mean, so like, I mean, again, like in my opinion, I think those five guys, I think it's five. So you've got, I mean, Jake Myers, Lou Perfito, Cam Smith, Taylor Trammell, Bryce Matthews, and Zach Cole. So those six, I would be not surprised if that's a battle all the way until the 2-game series with the Space Cowboys. I don't think it's as locked up as far as to where I would say Bryce Matthews doesn't have a shot.
Yeah, well, the Jake Marisnick thing was more of they have higher defensive skill set than they do offensive. That's the comparison. And so as you're reading, as you're saying that, reading off those guys, I mean, to me, I mean, and you pointed out like Zach Cole hasn't done anything to jump off the screen at you during spring. Loperfido hasn't done much since he's come back over. Cam Smith, glimpses of consistency this spring, right? Bryce Matthews. I mean, these guys, their defensive skill set at the moment is higher than their offensive output. And that's the comparison to Jake Marisnick. Not a knock on Marisnick because the dude was like
he was great defensively.
Pretty damn good outfielder, right?
But just to kind of put before we move on, I mean, if I think stat-wise, Bryce Matthews has the most RBIs out of all of the outfielders. Now, granted, he's played a handful of games in the infield, but at least on the bat, I mean, he's got more RBIs than any of the guys that are in the outfield right now.
Yeah.
As far as spring numbers. So,
and let's be honest, man, we need RBIs more than anything else right now. I mean, look at their last season. It's like there are so many times that we just fell short against like mediocre teams like the Angels, the A's, the Twins, whatever it was that, we really, really needed some runs. So, yeah, I totally agree.
Well, these guys are going to be batting at the end of your bottom of your lineup anyway. The 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it is, right? So you can't have, non-production from, 3 spots in your lineup.
And you nailed it.
Hey, that's what it comes down to. I mean, look, Jake Myers, was fantastic until he got hurt, right? And rushed back and got hurt again, and that was unexpected. I think from all of us can say that Jake Myers' output prior to the first injury was unexpected. So you can't. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see because it's going to be a young outfield minus Myers, right? And Jordan if he's out there, but like overall, your depth in the outfield is very young. Limited MLB at bats. I mean, Cam, we know he went. We had a whole season with him. Myers, of course, we know he's a veteran, right? But Cam probably. I mean, that was the most games that kids played ever. I mean, there's no doubt about it that he, probably got gassed out. And he probably had put a lot of pressure on himself, right? Based off the spring that he had last year going into the season. I mean, I can only speak from the outside, obviously, but look, man, these last 2 weeks are going to be fun to watch. So if you're into the looking at the roster and where it's going to end up, these last 2 weeks of spring training are going to be the weeks to really tune in, because that's when these guys are going to be basically putting on auditions for them to come out of spring with the big boy camp, right? So it's going to be awesome to watch. We've got 2 weeks to opening day. It's going to be amazing. March 28th. I think it's the
Can't wait.
Angels at home. I think it's Angels at
Yep.
home. Angels at
It's
home.
the 26th.
26.
26. Yep.
Angels, Boston, and then we're on the road for 2 series after that. So I know Angels and Boston at home start the season. So it's go time.
Yeah, then you have the
Gucci and Brown, man.
27th. 27th is going to be opening day for the Space Cowboys. So
There we go.
it's gonna be a busy 2 days.
Yep. Busy 2 days, man. But look, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Especially I want to thank Sweet Bee Bones Bryles for joining us tonight. I'm glad we could get the contract handled, bro. So now we don't have to worry about that for another year. But in all seriousness,
Brett, I see that you're listening. Appreciate it.
yeah, appreciate it, Brett. Friend of the show for sure. Hope you guys have a great start to your week. We're gonna be back on Thursday.
Thursday.
Back to the normal time. But I want to thank everyone tuning in for guys' continuing support, man. We really appreciate it. We are really looking forward to this 2026 season with the Astros and all the things that we have planned for you guys. So thank you again. This is the Crawford Chronicles. I'm PK. Homer Chris. Sweet Bee Bones Bryles. Y'all have a good week.
Hook 'em.
That's right. Hook 'em, baby. They took 2 out of 3 against Ole Miss this weekend.
What's the score in the USA game?
I don't know, but there's cheering in the background on my TV, so hopefully it's
No.
not from the Dominicans.
Good cheering.